Welcome everyone to episode 3 of season 8, our Creed 2 coverage. I am Ryan. With me today is Kyle and Katie, of course, as always. The trio of us, I think, is really, in a good way, rubbing off on our listeners. I think it's been very positive.
Hopefully so.
But no, I think so. I think it's been very positive. And of course, Kyle with his insider knowledge. I don't know what it is. People love it. People love his off-the-cuff boxing knowledge, insider knowledge, and we appreciate it because I don't know what I'm talking about ever, really. Thank you, guys. I just wanted to say thank you. I don't know. I'm feeling sentimental. I think partly because I know as of the time of this recording, the big break's coming, and I'm going to miss the show. I'm going to miss you guys. And so basically from May 12th until December 15th, I'm only going to be home 3 weeks during that time. And so I would suspect, because I'm going to have an itch for it, sometime in July we'll record. So basically a couple sessions of recording in 6 months.
I'll miss it.
Yeah, unless I get a COVID. The problem is we're going out to South China area. We might be, I don't know the ports yet. And even if I did, I can't really say. If we get clearance to go ashore, then I'll probably have a hotel here and there. And that'd be kind of fun to do recording. Again, it's still going to be far and in between. It's going to be costly to, to find a hotel every time I want to do recording.
Indeed.
Anyways, that's the big break news. So again, if you're listening, that's why there's a break, but I'll be talking about it, of course, the more we get to it. But it's coming very quickly. All right, well, let's get right into it. This is episode 3. We've only got one email, but it's from Greg the First. It's a lengthy one, so not in a bad way, but it's got some stuff that we're going to talk about. So we'll interject whenever you guys want to the comments that Greg has for us. And yeah, let's go. Cue the music.
We have an email from Greg the First, and the subject is finale thoughts. Ryan, Kyle, and Katie, I was finally able to get to the finale episode, parts 1 and 2 anyway, where you read 2 of my more critical emails, and I appreciate you allowing me to air my grievances. You still have 1 email of mine, or 2, waiting in the wings, but I did want to respond to what I heard in the finale. I take some issues with Katie's comment that the hardcore Rocky fans have more of a problem with Creed films because, well, I would certainly include myself in that category. I don't think that was Katie's intent, but I do not believe that comment was accurate. I do think perhaps that it is hardcore Stallone fans that maybe have more issues with the Creed films. I think I've mentioned several times in the past that for me, Stallone is Rocky, not Rambo, nor any other character he has played in his career.
Those are excellent points and excellent theory of why people might have trouble with Creed. I mean, at the end of the day, there are Rocky fans that have troubles with some of the Rocky films. That's my rebuttal a little bit. I object because there are Rocky fans who don't like all the Rocky films. And it's certainly the same way, and there's some that they actually despise, even though they're Rocky fans. But it's a fair argument where people kind of equate Stallone to being Rocky. I'm in between because I'm a huge Stallone fan. Obviously, I started a podcast about Stallone and Rocky, but I'm a huge Stallone fan. I actually watch all of his movies. He's a good actor. I don't ever watch, let's say, even if I watch Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, I'm not saying, oh, that's Rocky being the cop. What makes him such a good actor, yeah, that he is, I guess, to Greg's point, yes, when he plays the Rocky character, he embodies it like no one else can.
I also, like Greg, basically treat Rocky as being a real person. Although I'm going to take it a step farther than him or anyone, really. I think Rocky plays Stallone in what we call real life.
Sure. It's that weird.
It's funny. That's funny.
Like he's playing Stallone, who plays Rambo. So it's kind of a weird twist there.
Ooh, like a weird multiverse.
I just pretend Rocky is real. I know he's not.
Well, he is.
Yeah.
He is. We should find out who was born first, technically speaking.
Oh, that is out there.
I choose to suspend disbelief and pretend Rocky's real, and I like it that way. Because I'm not a big Sly fan. I'm not against him or anything. I just don't get super excited. It's weird when he's not Rocky, if that makes sense.
Okay, well, there you go. That probably proves Greg's point in that case, because Kyle liked the Creed films better than Katie and I. And I'm not speaking for Katie, but for me, Greg's theory is correct regarding Kyle's journey, because he liked the Creed films better than I did. The Creed Part 1 at the most. He liked it. I would say I gave Creed Part 1 probably 7.
Yeah.
6.5, 7 out of 10. The sly parts were 10 out of 10. But overall, I think the movie's 7 out of 10. That's a fairly good watch. But I am a Stallone fan. So yes, I've mentioned I love the Rambo films almost as much as I like the Rocky films. Rambo is so much fun to watch. Rocky has so much heart to watch. I like them for different reasons, but I think I enjoy both the same.
You're like, bye.
I'm bi. Sly.
Yeah.
Oh, you've coined a new term, right?
That's right. If you like both Rocky and Rambo the same, you're bi Sly.
You're bi Sly, and there's the Sly spectrum. You know, you don't have to be 100% Rocky or 100% Rambo. Like I may be Rocky with just a touch of Rambo. Some people are in the middle where it could go either way, or some people are closer to Rambo.
I love that. I too am a Stallone fan, but he is Rocky more than anything to me as well. Yeah. I will just say, like, you're right, Greg. I didn't intend for it to come off like people who like Creed aren't hardcore. I very much like the Creed movie. Just out of all 7 movies, it's my least favorite of all of them. I love Creed 2. I probably forget because my brain doesn't work very well. I forget in what context I had maybe mentioned something, but I do recall saying something that for hardcore Rocky fans, the relationship between Rocky and Adrian would always surpass that of Donnie and Bianca's. I think it was more the relationship between Rocky and Adrian is so amazing, but you're allowed to feel whatever you feel. Everybody's has opinions and emotions, and they're all valid.
No, they truly are. And if this was all three of us saying the same thing, or having the same opinion, I would be bored as a host. I like bouncing things off you guys too. So continue. So that's great points, Greg. So absolutely, I think your theory is correct. Might be correct because it works for Kyle. Your theory works for Kyle and for himself. So there you go. That's a good point. Yeah.
Oh, and I think we're going to get to why he says that Stallone is Rocky, not Rambo, because he goes on to say, I've never seen the Rambo films.
Oh, he hasn't?
I guess that's sort of unfair to say then that he's not Rambo if you've not seen the Rambo.
I have seen the films many times. I will say this about Sly. He said, even for himself, he says that Rocky is the person he wishes he could be. You know,
that's cool. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, because, well, of course. Because Rocky is a really good person. Like
he's a saint. He's a saint with flaws, but he's a saint with flaws.
Yeah.
And no, so Rocky's admitted that that's why he loves but he's not that character. He says that's not me. I'm not that. I have the flaws.
Stallone has admitted.
Well, there was a Freudian slip there, Ryan.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. What did I say?
You called Stallone Rocky.
Oh, I've done it 100 times in this podcast. I've done it 100 times.
Yeah.
But no, absolutely. Sure. No, that is his most identified character. The same way you could say that Arnold is the Terminator. There's some roles that will just be identified with characters for the rest of their life.
Did you know that O.J. Simpson was first considered and almost became the Terminator, but was ultimately rejected because he was too likable?
You're kidding.
He wasn't believable as a killer.
Oh my God, that I didn't know that. And also that's ironic as hell.
Alleged killer. How dare you?
Well, this is 84, right? This is before the alleged murder. Well, no, they are murders, but before he allegedly committed the murders.
I think my understanding was he wanted to audition for T2. And so he did some, what do you call method acting? No.
Yeah. He's like, I really can kill people.
He walked in on Nicole Brown Simpson. You, Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
Is it too soon? Come on, we can do it now, can't we? I think enough time.
I remember
5 years.
Yeah, mid-90s, I think. So, yeah.
Okay.
Greg says, I've never seen the Rambo films, and I don't intend to stick around for that coverage on the podcast.
Okay, that's shame. You know what, Greg? I'm not going to lie to you. Greg, meet us halfway. Listen, I would challenge you to watch First Blood. It's going to be 80 minutes, 90 minutes out of your life. Like, come on. And it's a great film. It's the Rocky of the Rambo films. The Rocky franchise goes off the rails in 3 and 4, and it completely derails in 5, but all these films have their merits, which I love. The same with the Rambo films. They derail in their own right, but there's so much fun in their own right. That's the argument that we'll make probably a million times while we talk about the Rambo films, is how the first one, First Blood, is basically an Oscar-worthy performance of Stallone with a gun in his hand. His nonverbal acting is amazing. His end sequence is amazing. I don't want to give anything away. It's a very dramatic film. It's not an action film. It's actually a drama. and a heavy drama with some violence. It's like a Godfather has violence. Would you call Godfather an action film? I would recommend, Greg, that's my challenge to you. Watch First Blood. And if you watch First Blood and say to yourself, oh my gosh, I don't want to hear any talk about this film, then that's fair. Just let us know that you saw it. You couldn't bear the idea of listening to us talk. Then that would be fair. But you have to watch First Blood or else you can't have an opinion on it.
Agreed.
We have 3 agreeds.
I could see why he wouldn't want to stick around, because if the movies aren't his thing, they're not his thing, and that's fair. That's fine.
That's fair.
But even if just watch some clips on YouTube of First Blood.
No. Watch the whole thing. For all of our listeners. This is for all of our listeners. There's a few of our listeners. He was a guest on our season finale. I'm sorry, the name escapes me because I'm just trying to. Okay, one of our 3 Patreon guests. It just escapes me because you could see I never know
the last one.
Yeah,
like the last
4 Patreon.
Was he the guy from South Carolina?
Yes.
That guy?
Yeah.
Peter?
I can't remember his name either.
Patrick was the German.
Patrick.
Paul.
Yeah.
Paul. Was it Paul?
Paul. Yeah.
I knew it was a P. Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can edit that.
Good memory.
Even though
Good
he's going to be watching this Patreon, because I know he watches the Patreon videos. But Paul, for the audio edit, I'll make it sound like I knew what I was talking about. Anyways, Paul said he never saw the Rambo films, and he got the box set and watched them because he wants to prepare himself for the Rambo covers. Right? Which Rambo is, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to shame people. I'm just saying I invite people to do the same. To open your. I love watching movies that I've never seen before, especially older movies. So I think The First Blood. My goodness, I just find it bewildering that you could be a Stallone, like any of his films, and to just not be curious about his other franchise. That's his biggest franchise.
Okay. Hands up if you've watched at least part of Party at Kitty and Studs.
I have. I've seen parts.
You guys, I shockingly haven't, and I just maybe haven't put enough effort into I just need to look it up and find it somewhere.
Oh, it's so fucking boring.
Yeah,
I'm sure it is, but I still want to see it because
you want to see
Stallone.
it? Do you?
Yeah.
Both. Yes, I do. I would very much.
Okay, so what do we got going on with this email here?
So, sorry, it'll take a while. Okay. So Greg says, it's nothing more than a thought, but maybe for some reason Stallone fans have more of a problem as the series moves slowly further from his direct influence. Yeah, you're absolutely.
That's true. That's true. And it came back. His influence came back in part 2. And guess what? I like part 2 better. Right? Well, he's the author. Let's be honest. If you're a fan of the author's work and somebody else rewrites the story, you're going to be like, I like the author. I like the other guy that wrote the story. Yeah, absolutely. He's absolutely right. So when Creed 2 is written by Stallone, guess what? I liked it a little bit better because I like his.
Me too.
I like his voice. I like his voice in the film. That's all. Yeah.
Yep. So Greg says, also, I'm fully aware that Ryan's intent with the crappy Creed covers is humorous, but as Doug Greenberg has said on many occasions, we should stop indulging him.
No, Doug wasn't talking about the songs. He was overall saying, don't indulge Ryan with his bad humor. But I'm back and forth on it. Here's the thing. How should I say this? If I changed my format for every listener, then I would never have a show.
True.
If everyone said, hey, Ryan should do this or Ryan should do that, then I wouldn't have a show. I'd have to take notes of what everyone was here. But I will say there have been complaints, but I have also said, in general, people complain more online than they ever say they like something. Meaning, not that Greg's complaining. I'm just saying if someone doesn't like a movie or a product or even a podcast, very few people, and I'm guilty of this, I listen to a lot of podcasts and I haven't left reviews on all of them, so I'm a bit of a hypocrite. We often don't say, hey, I enjoyed your show. And I've been making a more concerted effort with the shows that I do listen to, actually tweet them online and say, hey, I enjoyed your episode. I'll just say, hey, great episode. Just let creators of those podcasts know that we're listening. So, but sometimes if we don't like something, it's easier to say, I don't like that. Because it gets heard, right?
Oh, okay. He says, I do find it very interesting that the consensus among the hosts is that Adonis and Bianca are better or at least more palatable in Creed 2 than in Creed. It's my opinion that Creed 2 is a very natural progression for those characters, but I really do not see a lot of differences in the performances. I think they're very consistent, honestly. So I will be more interested to hear in those episodes where you feel that the differences are.
When I read that, I was like, I don't know if I can. It was more just a feeling. I just remember feeling that way when I saw it in the theater and when I saw it again a year ago for the 3rd or 4th time. I just remember feeling I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't bother me as much. I didn't have a reason, or it wasn't a scene. I think it was just them.
Well, I can say one for me is the love scenes when they're lovey with each other, or more sexual scenes seem more natural.
That's fair.
In Creed 2.
Yeah, I think it might be at the end of the day. Our theory could be, or was, they were just more comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
If you're doing scenes that are romantic, especially some sort of physical intimacy, It helps if there's a natural chemistry between you in that way.
Oh, sure.
Sure.
And not everyone will have that, right?
Right.
No, they
Right.
wouldn't. Yeah.
That's one part of Rocky and Adrian's relationship. Other than the scene in the first movie, you don't see a ton of them being physical with each other.
No,
True.
a little do. There's not too many. There's not too many scenes where they're being that. It's more of Adrian just saying she doesn't want him to fight. So yeah.
Yeah. Greg says, then finally I had posted the question in one of those emails about which ending for Rocky was the best without giving too much detail about my own opinion. So I wanted to double back to that for a second. Rocky 5 ages the worst for me. Measure of a Man just comes off very cheesy, in my opinion, in 2021, but much more so than it probably did in the moment. When I said that I enjoyed the Balboa ending the best, I singled out the credits sequences where ordinary people were filmed running up the steps, finishing with Stallone standing alone at the top looking out over the city. Of course, I should have also mentioned his exit from the arena and his graveside chat with Adrian. But the reason I singled out the credit sequence goes back to what I said in one of those emails about these movies being inspirational and motivating for all of the fans. And that is why I found that to be such an appropriate way, or so we thought, for the Rocky saga to sign off for the final time. Thanks as always, Greg the First. P.S. I'm sorry, Ryan, but you also I'm sorry, Ryan, but you are also wrong about Black Panther. It's not in my top 5 MCU films, and maybe not even my top 10, but calling it the worst is laughable. There is so much good stuff in there. And when you and I start our MCU podcast together, the world needs another one of those, right?
Yeah, right.
Can we discuss it?
I know I'm maybe ironically in the minority regarding Black Panther, but I know there's a lot of people that actually feel the way I do. Maybe it's a divisive film. There's a lot of people who don't like that film compared to the other MCU films. Again, is it well made? Sure. I was bored. That's all. I was just bored. I don't know how to describe it. Again, I didn't want to be bored. Chadwick Boseman was a highlight. He's a great actor, but the film was boring for me. But it's laughable. That's fine. A little bit of a stinging comment, Greg, but that's okay.
Ryan, after this, he'd be like, "Hey, Katie, you know how I said great comments didn't bother me? They did.
They did.
And then he walks away.
I recognize that I'm on that I'm on the other side of the coin. It's praised. It's high ranked. It made mega money at the box office, so it had to be good. People loved it. Absolutely. They saw it more than once in the theaters, and it's been probably viewed a million times on Disney Plus. So I can't argue that it's successful. I personally was bored. It's funny how art does this, where this music, movies, books, actors, TV shows, is you can't force yourself to like something. And you actually can't change anyone's mind. I hope we can express why we think we do. But I've said it before, I never say my opinion about the films or anything thinking I'm going to change someone's mind. It's more to engage in their mind the conversation of, oh, I see what Ryan or Katie or Kyle is saying. I don't agree, but they make a good point. And Greg's made excellent points. He's very well spoken, very well able to articulate things. He's actually not would say changed my mind, but he's allowed me to see, like, oh, okay, yeah, good point. Yeah, absolutely. I can see why that would be XYZ. What I find interesting about a movie is there's no free will when it comes to watching anything. You cannot make yourself like something, because if you could, you would. Why would you choose not to enjoy? Because enjoying something feels wonderful.
True.
When you enjoy something, it's a great feeling. Right now I'm watching a TV show called Yellowstone. Highly recommend this show. Seriously.
Is that the Kevin Costner one?
The best show on TV that I've seen. Well, I haven't been this excited about a TV show since Game of Thrones. It is
What
the
about
best
Kingdom?
show. Is it better than Kingdom? Yes.
Nope, I don't believe it.
Yeah, I'm a huge Western fan, but it's a modern. Basically, it's Sons of Anarchy meets Sopranos meets a modern day Western.
What's this show called?
Yellowstone. It's on Amazon Prime in Canada for free.
Brian, Kim's going to love this episode because she also loves that show.
Katie, have I ever led you astray with my suggestions?
No, I think I don't get it. It must be on a network or something that I don't get.
It's on Amazon Prime in Canada. I think in the States you do have to pay for it.
Yeah, it's not on Prime here.
Okay.
It's on something else.
Paramount. I think it's on Paramount.
Just get a VPN or something, and then you can.
Yeah, if you get a VPN, I'll give you my account number so you can watch it. Or it doesn't matter. Yeah, if you have. This is what the point I'm trying to make is: if you could enjoy everything, you would. So there's no free will in your enjoyment. I would enjoy everything. I would never waste my time or waste my money if I didn't have to. So what I'm saying is, once you experience something, you can't control the experience. It will be what it is when it's happening. Now, you can revisit things, but even my argument there will be, I've now seen something I wasn't that crazy about. I've revisited it, but you're still going in with data that you didn't have on the first time viewing, and that will still change how you felt about the film. But again, you can't say, I am going to like this thing, or else you just would. Because I love feeling good. I love enjoying things. But that's what makes enjoyment so good, is when you watch a crap thing, or when you watch a show like Yellowstone, you're like, oh my goodness, this show compared to other shows blows it out of the water. That's why I love it so much. So that's a wonderful feeling to discover something and be like, that was amazing. But somebody will come on, I don't like Westerns, or I don't like mafia shows, or I don't like boxing shows. I don't like Stallone. You can't make somebody like Stallone. You can't make somebody like something you like. You can say, this is why I like it. They might have an open mind, as they say. Like, I'll try to put my preconceived notions. But at the end of the day, if that person wanted to spend 2 hours of enjoyment, I think they just would. I think you would just enjoy something. Or why wouldn't you?
It's a good point. Good point, Ryan. This is your show. You can't please everybody.
No, you can't.
All the time.
No.
Like, that's an impossibility.
That's
and
all
plus,
I'm trying to say, yeah.
Yeah, and I think you're always very tactful. I'm probably lacking tact sometimes when I say
No, you're
things.
not. I think
But anyway.
I think Kyle has the most tact.
Yeah. Kyle's
I
very
thought the least tact.
With us, you do, not with the listeners.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I think you're right, Ryan, that you can't make people like things. You can't force them to like things. But on a personal level, you can make yourself dislike a film if you have a certain attitude going into it.
Everything I've ever started watching, I want to enjoy. If I'm taking the time, especially if I'm a full-time worker, 4 kids at home, if I'm turning on a show and I don't like it, guess what I do? I'm like, well, I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah, but doesn't Becky ever watch something that you're like, what the f*** is this?
Well, no, that's what I mean. But that's the thing is, I don't blame her. I should blame. I understand that she likes something that I don't like, but I don't not like it because I choose to not like it. There's just shows like she watches The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I've seen some of those episodes. It does nothing for me. It does not stir any kind of entertainment within my cells. I don't know how to explain it, but we've all experienced that. This is all because of the music. I'm gonna kind of meet him halfway. I've already done a couple of recordings or editing, so I've already put the song at the beginning. But I think what I might do this because I already did it for one season. What I might do, honestly, is I might make the cover the outro music. And so when we go ding ding, maybe the cover song will be after the ding ding. So that's if people get a kick out of it. They can listen to it after the ding ding, gives them something to listen to. If people hate it, like Greg the First, they'll hear more of a rollicking type intro music that isn't grating. So I think that's my halfway. I'm not a narcissist trying to hurt our listeners' ears, but I do enjoy doing it. I think it's fair for both the listener, because if people do enjoy it, they'll still hear it. It'll just be at the end of the episode. That's all.
It's a good compromise.
I think it's a good compromise, and it's fair. I enjoy that it's getting a reaction, but I don't truly want to upset listeners. So I think it's a good compromise. So those who enjoy it, give me a little bit of support on an email or Twitter, and I'll read it online or read it on the air, because give Ryan a little bit of love here to say that I haven't completely, or everyone hates it, let me know. That's fair too, I guess. All right. That was the end of his email?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Not too bad. Incredible discussion points.
When Ryan describes Greg's email, that it's going to be like hate mail or something.
I said it's sharp.
It's not bad, though. I thought it was pretty nice.
I think you have
the
to think
laughable part was a little hard.
Yeah, the laughable part was a little harsh. It's the harshest he's been on me. He's not saying that I'm laughable. He's just saying that my opinion is laughable. I hope. He's listening to this. Yeah, yes, I got under his skin. We love Greg the First. We appreciate. He's been here. He's been on the show since the beginning. So I guess that's why I was a little bit panicky when he said he wasn't going to listen to Rambo, because man, he's been listening since the beginning. But I understand. People move on. I got it. All right. Well, without further ado, let's. Do you guys remember where we left off?
Was it after the fight?
I think it's like the fight's out to start.
Yeah.
We didn't get to the fight yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, Bianca's standing there, puts her hearing aids on.
Go prove it. Now go get your Mustang back.
I think he's going to lose.
These guys
Pretty
have
sure.
really been mixing it up here in the fourth. So far, Creed's youth outweighing Wheeler's experience.
Let's go, baby, let's go.
Maybe the most amazing part of Adonis Creed's journey, Roy, is that
Don't drop
tonight
that guard.
he fights for
Six.
the same belt held by both his trainer, Rocky Balboa, and his father, the great Apollo Creed.
We've cut right away into the fourth round. They start with the 4th round. We haven't seen any kind of journey or trial for Adonis here. It sounds like he's doing well in the fight. They make it known if he wins, the belt will be the same belt that Rocky and his father held. So this is a big match.
And they also just showed that, is his name Buddy or is that his real name? The promoter guy?
The promoters in the crowd, yeah. He's watching this fight, yeah. I forget his name.
Yeah.
I do forget his name. Tony's son, Tony Jr., is in Adonis's corner. That's shown as well. We also see that...
no. I think he's in Wheeler's corner.
Oh, is he in Wheeler's corner? See, that's
yeah,
right.
He's still Wheeler's guy.
Of course. Thank you. Yeah, that's right. See how long it's been? These are little details I forget with the Creed films. So yeah, so far we know that Adonis, the announcers like Adonis looks good, and you can sense right here the fighting style of Adonis is strong. He's just looking sharp. Wheeler's wearing the Air Jordan boxer shorts.
And then the comment is basically Adonis's youth is outweighing Wheeler's experience, which is a nice way of saying Wheeler's has been.
Well, we talked about the age. Yeah, Wheeler's quote unquote 35, and Adonis de-aged 3 years, and he's 28.
Yeah.
What an old man, 35. Right?
Yeah, I know.
I should say has been, just past his
Wheeler
prime.
seems to be waking up. We've seen this before, Roy. When Wheeler smells blood, he really turns it on.
So Bianca's hearing went down because of that punch, or is it just getting worse?
3 years ago, that's a knockout. Wheeler's
I think it's just dramatic effect.
You got him.
So the comment there was, so for our listeners, of course, Wheeler got this big punch, rocked Adonis back. And the guy says, well, 3 years ago, i.e. the events of Creed Part 1, 3 years ago, that would have knocked Creed to the mat. And it didn't. He was able to stay his ground. So it shows that he's stronger now. That he doesn't have the glass jaw anymore that he had before, that he's not, that kind of punch is not knocking him down. He's a stronger fighter.
I didn't take that way. I thought what he meant by that was Wheeler's punch isn't what it used to be.
They were saying that Adonis would have been knocked out. I think it's leaning towards more of Adonis' strength now as a boxer.
It could be both, that Adonis is stronger and Wheeler's weaker.
You're the middle. Not too hot, not too cold.
Yeah. But they both are significantly larger, obviously, because they're heavyweights now. We talked about that already. But visually, both of them are.
Michael B. Jordan, the real person. Huge in this movie compared to Part 1.
Yeah.
As pissed off as I am about them just pretending that they've been heavyweights all along, to be fair, Michael B. did bulk up quite a bit. He looks a lot more like a heavyweight.
One of the things that I really enjoyed about the Rockies that we don't get or the earlier Rockies that we don't get in the later ones, is them announcing the weight in the ring. Like, in this corner, weighing in at a blah, blah, blah. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, in this, they show the weights in the little
card. Yeah.
But yeah, I always wanted to know the weights in Rocky IV. And then I finally got my Russian-speaking friend to listen to it, but they didn't say the weights.
Interesting.
So it's like, oh, damn it.
If Rocky was quote-unquote a heavyweight at that time and seeing how big this Drago character is compared to Rocky, who's a heavyweight, they would have to say that Drago's 320.
Yeah, well, they did say...
No, they did say it was 260.
Oh.
Yeah, in the Creed fight with Drago, they said Drago was 260. And I'd say the heaviest Rocky could get would be... In Rocky 2, he was 202. I'd say in like Rocky 4, he was probably like 215 or something.
Yeah, maybe. That's a huge weight difference. Almost 50 pounds.
Yeah, that's massive. That's massive. And I think Sly in real life would be less than that. He's not very tall, right? So even though he's like jacked, his weight's probably not that much. In Rocky 1, he weighed 190 pounds, according to the fight announcer. Nowadays wouldn't qualify as heavyweight, and I'm not sure if it did back then either. I don't think it did.
You're right, Kyle. Adonis literally did get quite a bit bigger, in part because Drago is so huge, it would have looked funny if he didn't bulk up in comparison.
I don't know what Florian's actual weight is, but he's gigantic.
Yeah.
If you had 180-pound Adonis Creed, that'd be insane.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, I was just looking up Florian's weight. He's 1.93 meters tall, so he's just over probably 6'2".
6 feet is 183 centimeters, so 10 centimeters is 4 inches, so he's 6'4".
Oh, okay. He's between 235 and 245.
Yeah.
But he was probably got a little, maybe not heavier.
No, this
for
is his statistics right now, public statistics, because he is a professional athlete in his own right. So he's been weighed. So he's between 235 and 245. He stands at 6'4", just like Kyle said. Good job with the math. And he's 30 right now. So there you go.
Okay.
And 245 for 6'4", that's pretty bulky.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali was 6'3", and he was weighing 215-ish.
Oh, really? Okay.
In his fights. So being 6'4" and 245 is on the heavier, more powerful side for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to fight him. I'm okay.
No.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Mission really pressing the issue now. And a big left hook lands flush.
Creed, stand in the pocket, Max. Moving, not running.
Come on now. Hands up, hands up. These two men are really going at it.
Hell, Dottie.
And another left hook. Drives with
Come
a
on,
back.
baby. That was a sneaky little uppercut on the inside. And Wheeler's hurt by that, Roy.
Yeah, that wobbled his legs pretty bad.
Another big shot.
Hold him.
Creed has him in trouble, Max.
Wheeler is doing what he can. Wheeler is down. Wheeler's got the captain.
Somebody give me my keys.
Get up! Come on, baby, get up, get up! Wheeler trying to get up, but I don't know if he makes this count, Roy.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
It's over, Max.
No way! Adonis Creed
Give me my
is
keys.
the heavyweight champion of the world.
So what did you think of that 4th round victory?
You see Adonis's fighting style change a bit from the previous movie. I remember when he was fighting Conlon, near the end of the fight, they mentioned how he was having more success going to the body against Conlon to the head. And I've noticed when he's fighting Wheeler, he threw quite a bit of body, quite a few body shots, more so than he would have against the first guy he fought, Sperino. Yeah. He barely threw any body shots against him. He started throwing body shots against Conlon at the end, and now he throws the body shots at this guy, which is perfect because it slows him down, and he's slow already, or slower. You see Adonis is really like a brawler type of fighter, though, still. He just gets in front and just starts hitting. He's not too graceful.
Yeah. Katie, do you have any thoughts on that victory of Adonis?
I thought it was cute that he was like, give me my keys, which is an interesting, well, I think we maybe talked about last time that was a nice carryover from the first one, the Mustang. A long time has passed, right? Or is it just, how long is supposed to have passed?
Minus 3 years has passed.
In the movie, it's...
No, negative 3 years has passed. He is DH.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we've gone back, this is a prequel.
Yeah.
Oh, I
No worries. No, it was. I was just like, he's been driving it
No,
around.
it's 3 years. He talked about it in that commentary there that 3 years ago when he was fighting, that he would have been knocked out. That's the whole point. So it's been 3 years since the events of part one, and in the filming. So this is strictly a literal 3 years between films, but also 3 years in the character.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just noticed how he went down fast. What's his name?
What's the rule if they're on the rope? Why do they make it so confusing? He's on the rope. He got up on the 9 count. Does that not count?
You should be standing on your own. I'm not 100% sure on if you're leading on the ropes, if that's okay or not. But yeah, you should be standing on your own, and you have to show that you're lucid enough to...
Because he didn't look that bad when he got up. I'm always like, why did they be so...
He said you're out.
Yeah.
Like he was going to
He
throw
got up right at 10, and the guy probably saw his face. Like if your eyes are all like, oh, I'm out of it. If Lou Filippo's there, he'd just check his pulse and then be like, well, I feel the heartbeat, so you keep going, son.
Because we know at the end of the film, I don't want to give anything away in case someone hasn't watched Creed 2. I don't want to give away one of the best parts of the whole franchise happens at the end of part 2. We don't see Adonis knock anyone out. It's kind of frustrating. So I kind of wish with this fight, especially when he gets the championship, why not give him a little bit of a Hollywood ending? Like knock him out cold.
His win.
Yeah. Like he hits the canvas and he's out. Why not give it just a complete, he's knocked out cold? Because we don't get that.
They really like the drama of the...
But we know he's going to win. That's the whole point. Is we already know he's going to. So the count to 10 is irrelevant. They should have just done like, holy crap! Everyone has that lucky what they call boxer's punch. Knocked him out. It happens all the time, but it doesn't happen often in the Rocky films. It's odd.
No, you're right.
Just knock him out cold.
Yeah, they should have.
Yeah. Anyways, but
yeah, I agree. I wasn't bothered by it, but now that you said it, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Also, this is just me because I'm a loser, but
Oh,
with the whole Mustang thing, stuff like this bothers me because I'm like, okay, so Creed owns the Mustang, and then he puts his keys up and loses it, but that's still registered in his name. Do they have to do like a bill of sale?
they have to do it again. We talked about it in our Creed discussion that where he had to give the car to Danny Wheeler. We figured the lawyers just took care of it, that they didn't really go to the insurance place together.
Yeah, but you have to do a bill of sale and stuff, right? I'm just like, in the movie, you never think about that, but I'm thinking that, and I'm like, oh, that'd be weird. That'd be awkward. I wasn't like serious when I said that you can have the car, and I don't really want to pay insurance on it anymore. And
yeah, it's true. Like, there's no I lied.
Well, that would have been a super awesome scene.
That'd be funny. They're awkwardly sitting in the DMV.
I'm kidding, of course. That's why it's not shown to us.
It's a deleted scene of them waiting in the line at the DMV. All right.
It's kind of like how Paulie or Rocky gave Paulie that car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would take over the payments.
Yeah, he gives it to Wheeler. Oh, yeah, sorry, I owe $20,000 on it. Have fun.
Yeah. And there actually is no insurance, so you probably should do that. Just saying.
Yeah.
The car's hot, actually. I stole it.
Yeah. Tony Jr. looks like astonished that Creed won.
It's weird.
Like, he's just like, you just did that? And maybe he still views him as that little kid or views him as the schmuck who got knocked out in his boxing gym. In that short period of time, he just knocked out his fighter, right? It wasn't a close fight. You get KO'd or TKO'd in the 4th round. That's not a close fight.
That's true. That's a fair point. So he did lose 4th round, so maybe that's why they didn't have a cold knockout. Maybe. Yeah. Good point. He does look surprised and in shock that his champ just lost the crown. Now Bianca's come in the ring and she just said, "You know what you just did?" Holding Adonis's face.
With their nails.
Hey, baby! You know what just happened?
When you think of where this kid has come from, the most unlikely beginning for a fighter, Roy, growing up the way he did, to make it to the top of boxing in this way, it's unprecedented. It's one thing to be the #1 contender. It's a whole other thing to be champion. This
Okay, can we pause for a sec?
step to building a legacy of his own.
So I have to address Max's comment there. He makes the comment on how Creed had the unlikely beginning for this fighter, coming from where he came from and how he made it to the top of boxing, and which is fine. But then he said it's unprecedented.
Yeah, that was a weird...
Did he?
Yeah,
Did he? Good catch, Kyle.
Even though Creed's its own thing, it's connected to the Rocky. It's in the Rocky universe.
Rocky's climb was even more unprecedented. Like, pick the name out of a book.
Yeah, like Rocky was a club fighter. Adonis was a club fighter. They both got a shot to fight the champion, although Adonis's is more likely. Got it through the name.
But he also, for the last 3 years, worked his way to the #1 contender, whereas Rocky was automatically the #1 contender through picking his name in a lottery.
Yeah.
I heard it as coming from where he came from, meaning like his childhood. But the unprecedented makes even less sense. Right. Well, most boxers have a not so great childhood.
Because they can't sing or
so
dance.
the unprecedented makes even less sense then.
You're absolutely right. They could have easily taken that part out. I agree. That's a part where they could have just said, what an amazing night for him to honor his father by holding the same title as his father. Just play on that a little bit. Just saying, hey, he's...
Yeah.
I like the one line. It's one thing to be the #1 contender. It's another thing to be champion. That's a great line. And then they should have said, what an amazing night for Adonis. He's holding the same belt his father had. And isn't it crazy that Rocky trained him there, who also held the belt from his father? So this is an amazing legacy being built here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that would have been a lot better, I think.
Yeah. Agreed.
And then,
Agreed.
Greg, if you're listening... I don't mean to shit on it. It's not that big of a deal, but
no, this is why people listen to the show. We just said that was a great scene. That was a great scene. We should do that. We should do one episode where we just watch a scene and say that was a great scene.
Yeah, it's like the
I really liked that.
I really like
podcast.
I really like that. Do you like that, guys? Yeah. Remember that part where he won the belt? I like that part.
Yeah, that was great.
But on a serious note, you have a pause now on Buddy, the promoter, with dollar signs in his eyes now.
Yeah, because he just got back from Russia. Yeah, he wanted Adonis to win because this wouldn't have mattered. Had he not been champion, he can't hook him up with Victor.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So now he's got, he's like, he's the champ, and I know who his next opponent will be.
And I can hardly wait to see what's next for Adonis Creed.
Foreshadowing much?
No kid. We just literally said that. That's like a little on the nose. That's a little on the nose for the audience, but sure.
You see, Creed doesn't celebrate at all.
He did this a little bit. He did do that.
Yeah.
Arms in the air.
I feel like personally I can relate to this. If like I accomplish something like that, I'm not like the kind of person right away that's like woohoo. Like I'm just kind of like, oh, like wow, that just happened. I need more time to process it. Mm-hmm. And I like seeing that. It's cool when you see part of yourself like that in a film that like you can relate to it. It's like a lot of fighters, it is common. It'd be really common. Almost any person who wins the champion is jumping around like a crazy person. Because it's such a massive accomplishment, right? Like usually, like if you have an ego and stuff like that, you get really excited like that.
Bianca was more excited.
Yeah, Bianca was excited, Katie. Yeah, absolutely.
She had to like talk him into it. Did you see what? Did you realize what he just did?
Yeah. Well, I think he's a bit shocked too. I think
absolutely.
that punch, because it was an uppercut punch, and the announcer was saying, "Oh, that punch really shook Wheeler," and so I think he might have landed. I would say a lucky shot, but he landed a shot that, this connected really well, and he took advantage of it. And so maybe he was a little bit shocked that this didn't go past 4 rounds. So maybe he was like, I did it. But I will say, to Kyle's point, it's interesting. We never talked about this. And all the time we talked about Rocky, we've never talked about the different ways Rocky has celebrated his victories. Isn't that weird? Part 1, all he cared about was finding Adrian.
And it wasn't a victory either.
Well, I meant, end of boxing fight. Sorry, end of the film fight. You're right. So, of course, really, he didn't win in part 1. I know.
You went the distance though, which is a victory.
That's right. He was a personal victory. But the point is, he was all he cared about was Adrian. At that moment, he went the personal distance, but now he's like, where's the love of my life? Part 2. He was humble about it. He did the great speech. He says, other than my son being born this grace day, but that physical outpour he was obviously very exhausted. But part 3 was the biggest celebration in all the films by far. He jumped in the air, and it kills me how he does it, because like, how did that not hurt his knees? Because he jumps in the air and lands on his knees. It's the most he's ever celebrated a victory, by far. It's the only time he's ever celebrated strictly the victory was beating Clubber Lang.
I have a theory as to why that is. All of the other fights were 15-round slugfests, where you're exhausted beyond belief. Now, granted, they did say he was exhausted after the 3rd fight, but that was a 3-round fight. So you might have a little more energy to celebrate. But after you have 15 rounds where you took a severe beating, you probably don't have it in you to be jumping around. Like, you're just kind of glad it's over.
It was the most physical one. That's what I'm saying. For external onlooker, it's the most excited looking he's been through victory. He did that. He did a little twirl in the air, and then he jumps and lands on his knees.
Well, because he didn't think he could do it. Also, in 3, he had setups, or there wasn't setups. It was good fighters, but they wasn't.
It was handpicked.
And then he learns later.
Right.
The rug got pulled out from under him, and so he thought he was great, and then he's questioning himself. Then he loses. He doesn't believe in himself anymore. And so then when he wins, now he's regained his belief in himself again.
Yeah. And after all these episodes and all the coverage we've done the Rocky films, we've never broken down Rocky's, how he has personally reacted to every film. With the first one, I guess, of course, we always mention his love for Adrian. That's all, because that's the iconic moment. But yeah, in Rocky 3, that was his most legit, I won the fight celebration. Yeah. Yeah.
Then he had the speech that ended the Cold War.
Yeah.
And then 5, there wasn't. What? He just walks. Yeah, he walks away with his family. 6, he just leaves the ring, right?
Literally, there's like no celebration. Yeah. He just left the ring. He walked out of the ring. Yeah. I don't think he even waved to the crowd from the ring. He did it from the.
He goes like this as he was walking out. You're right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think he literally walked out of the ring, and it wasn't until his son turned him around and Paulie said, "No, wave to the crowd before you walk away."
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was it. Yeah, interesting. Oh, wow. Look at us pulling rabbits.
Good question, Ryan. Good thought.
No problem. Well, guys, this has been a real joy recording with you guys. I'm looking forward to doing more. Obviously, Season 8 will not be done before 2021 is over. It just is what it is. We're going to get as much as we can done. But at the rate that we're going, not in a bad way, no, it just won't get done. Well, without further ado, whose turn is it? I don't remember. I think it's Kyle's turn. I think it's Kyle's turn.
Yeah.
Ding, ding.
All right, now people will hear the terrible Creed cover.